Hello, my name is Philip Kettleson. I work as a senior consultant for my company in a threat hunting role. Even though I am in threat hunting, my degrees that I have are in digital forensics. So anytime I see something involving forensics, piques my interest. So I get very excited about that. A couple days ago, Xavier posted a diary up on the SANS Internet Storm Center. Highly recommend the source. Lots of diaries from different analysts around the world. In this case, Xavier found a Python script which exhibits, in my opinion, a very unique anti-forensics method. This script, what it attempts to do is determine the title of the Windows, the title of any Windows in memory through the get window text API call. So what this particular code does, I'll bring it up here in VS Studio, is it's a Windows API call, and it attempts to enumerate through all of the open windows. And it has an array here of common debugging and forensics tools that you might be familiar with, or you might see some similarities to. After it determines if it's, you know, it has a window running one of these titles in here, then attempts to terminate that process. So this is an anti-forensics method. And anti-forensics is basically designed to impede the static or live analysis of malware binaries to make it harder for us to figure out what it's doing and share that information. So going back to the Sandstorm Center post, Xavier does provide a link to VirusTotal. So as you can see here, there's about 8 different vendors who have flagged it as malicious. It can be detected using the Inquest Labs YARA rule for Windows API function. I think that's actually kind of high level. There's going to be lots of other code that will do API function calls, so you might get a lot of false positives on other code if you're using this definition. In the community section here, there's also another one. This particular code, I guess, does use the Creel Stealer written in Python, but just like any other adversary, since this is posted on VirusTotal, especially if you have an enterprise account, you can download this file, which means that it can be incorporated by other threat actors. Going back to VS Code here, um, this particular method that's defined can just be copied, pasted, adapted into other code. So I wanted to exercise, a learning opportunity here, and this because this is the first time I've ever tried to write my own YARA rule. But I wanted to concentrate specifically on the activity and behavior of this particular snippet of code. So you can see here, here's my YARA rule. After I set up my metadata, I you know set out some strings here. So I concentrated on 2, which was the get window text call and the terminate process. I also include the hexadecimal values of that in case it was written in hex, or if the binary is in hex and it's not just a code snippet. Then I also set out the window title. So here's my in the case of all this, I don't believe in YARA you can do an array with strings. If you can, great, let me know. But so basically what I did here is I said, hey, if it's including the string or the hexadecimal value of the get Windows API call, or the string or the hex value of the terminate process API call, and any of the Windows title using a wildcard, because I set out and I put like 1 through 98 here. You can sit here and add more and more and more, and reaching an infinite amount. But I'm just going through the process here to learn how to write this YARA rule. Once you write it, there's a couple different things you can do to check it. Going back to Chrome here, there's 2 different tools that might be available to you. So number 1 is VirusTotal's Retro Hunt job feature. So you copy and paste your
YARA rule into the block here, and then you get the hashes of the different files that are available in VirusTotal, and you paste them here, and then you run your test. So as you can see here, my definition does detect this particular sample. I'd have to find some other hashes to see if it would work on other samples as well. If you don't have access to this particular feature of VirusTotal, I'm not sure if it's premium or if the free version it's available, but you can use CyberChef. So CyberChef here, you can't just paste in different hashes like you can in VirusTotal to test it against a set of different files. You'll have to copy and paste your malicious code into the input box or input panel. Then you would copy your YARA rule into the YARA rules panel here. It's not a great place to like edit. If like it, so I recommend to do it in like Notepad++ or VS Code. Whatever your favorite flavor of code editor would be, and copy and paste it in here to check and see whether or not it actually matches the code that you have in the input. So, this is it for my video. Have a great day. Happy hunting.